Good morning, everybody. I'm Dr. C. Srinivasulu, Professor of CSC and Dean Outcome-Based Education and Teaching Learning Center. Teaching Learning Center will give what are the services we provide is we provide the assessment process for all the programs which is offered in Institute of Aeronautical. Let me discuss about why outcome-based education is required. Outcome-based education is required for effective teaching, better teaching learning methods, and the assessment methods. So, the process, the framework which we define for IRE for assessment process. So, the stakeholders has to define the vision and mission, program education objectives, and program outcomes, and program specific outcomes, and course outcomes. So, outcome-based education is saying that the stakeholders has to develop the vision and mission and has to be aligned vision and mission with the program education objectives, and program outcomes are defined by the National Board of Accreditation. It's in line with the Washington Accord. Then the program heads has to define the program specific outcomes, so in line with their competency. And for each course, we need to be define the course outcomes as per the NBA framework. The guidelines, people are saying that. So 6 course outcomes has to be designed for each course. Then these course outcomes are going to be helpful to calculate the course attainments. So outcome-based education, as per the process, what they are trying to say, the stakeholders has to be plan the activities, and they have to do it. Then they have to check it, they have to act it. Then the teaching learning process is playing a vital role in outcome-based education. That's what in our IRE OBTL framework very clearly saying that the curriculum has to be initiated with different teaching pedagogies. One is experiential learning, then then collaborative learning, project-based learning, and research-based learning. So teaching learning process plays a vital role in outcome-based education. The reason is students has to, at the end of the program, so we need to be calculate the attainment for that program. That's the reason your curriculum has to be incorporate all these teaching learning process. The learning process has to be implemented when the teacher is handling the courses. Then assessment methods. So we, as per the OBE framework of IRE, so we have the different type of assessment we consider for calculating the course outcomes and the program outcomes. One is indirect assessment and direct assessment. So in the direct assessment, from the course, automatically we calculate direct assessment. Then indirect assessment, we have to consider indirect assessment for calculating the course attainments, course and survey. Then for calculating the program outcomes and program specific outcomes attainments at the end of the program, we need to be taken program exit survey and the alumni survey and the employee survey. So we give weightage. As per IRE framework, for calculating course outcomes or the program specific outcomes, we give 80% weightage for the direct assessment and 20% for the indirect assessment. Then, so the process what they are saying is at the end of the course program, so we have to calculate the continuous improvement. So continuous improvement is one of the it has to be measured to measuring the learning quality, quality of the teaching and learning outcomes. So this continuous improvement has to be measured in each and every program. At the end, the outcome-based education OBTL framework is saying that so it's not what we teach, it's what they learn. That is what exactly we want to do. Then the first step in outcome-based education framework of as per IRE, so the course teachers has to define the course outcomes for each and every course. So each and every course. Then we, as per our education OBTL framework, So the formula which we use for designing our course outcomes is with the tagline of students should be learn plus action verb plus behavior and resulting evidence. So let me give more explanation about on this formula. So action verb. Action verbs, as per the Bloom's level taxonomy, we have 6 levels of cognitive levels. So we define action verbs as per our framework, right? And behavior of particular subject and resulting evidence. Then each course outcome has its own characteristics we need to be defined because course outcomes are measurable. Course outcomes are measurable. That's the reason course outcomes are measurable. Then we National Board of Accreditation is defined the 12 POs. Then, as per the outcome-based education framework of IRE, for each program outcomes, we need to be define the key competencies, which will going to be helpful to give the weightage of that. For example, PO1 for engineering knowledge, we are defined 3 key competencies. Like that, PO2 we have a 10 key competencies. PO3 we have a 10 key competencies are defined, and PO4 11 competencies are defined. 11 competencies are defined, and PO5 1 competency is defined, and PO6 5 competencies are defined, and PO7 3 competencies are defined, and PO8 key competencies are defined. Like that. So the course coordinator has to be prepare the course articulation matrix. So then they have to map with the course outcomes with the program outcomes and the program specific outcomes. The course coordinator has to see how many key competencies are mapped with a particular course outcomes. Then they have to give the weightage. Then they have to convert into the percentage in a scale of 1, 2, 3. So as per our educational OBTL framework, we are defined if the percentage is between 0 to 5, there is no correlation to the course outcomes to the program outcomes and program specific outcomes. Between 5 to 40, it is a low weightage, and it is between 40 to 60, it is a moderate. Then 60 to 100, then it is high weightage. So we have to convert, the course coordinator has to be convert the weightages, which that we, as per our OBTL framework, we are designing the course articulation matrix. So for course and course outcomes PO attainment process, as already we saying that we need to be considered direct and indirect assessment. In the direct assessment, as per the outcome-based OBTL framework of IRE, we conduct CAE examinations, continuous and SE examinations. So then we take the 80% weightage from that, and 20% weightage we take in the indirect assessment, that is a course and survey. Then it is going to be calculated course attainment. So as per our educational OBTL framework, the course coordinator has to be prepare the course descriptor or the course template. Then in the course descriptor or course template, they have to define the course objectives, define the COs, and then they have to design the course articulations. Then as well as the results are published, the course coordinator has to be calculate the CO attainments. So for that, we are developed one tool called SLO for calculating the course attainments. So the navigation which we followed for SLO is the course coordinator has to be upload the COs in the SLO. Then they have to POs are already, because they're already defined by the NBA. Then POs has to be need to be defined, and PSOs has to be as per the program specific need to be uploaded. That is step 3. Then they have to give the articulation matrix. That is a 4th step in SLO. Then indirect at the end of the course, we take the indirect assessment in the form of the course and survey. That will be helpful to calculate the course attainment. We need to be define the threshold value for each and every course for calculating the course attainments. These then in a PAQC meeting in each program, we take a decision how much weightage usually we'll give. Then that percentage will give we feed it to the SLO. Then course attainment will be automatically calculated. If the course attainments are not attained, then course coordinator has to be prepared the action taken. What is action taken need to be taken to fulfill those gaps. So that is going to be helpful to improve in the further in future course of time. That's how course attainments are going to be calculated. Then at the end of the program, the program head is supposed to be calculate the program outcomes and program specific outcomes. The process which we follow is, as I was mentioning, that we give the 80% weightage for direct and 40% 20% weightage for the indirect. Then we calculate that, and then if it is not attained, the program head has to be written the action taken. So the SLO is inbuilt software, inbuilt application which we develop. It is fully automated with all the functionalities as per aligned with our OBTL framework. Thank you very much.